So one of the nice new things that we did since last year was now we have a fancy recorder bot.
Cool.
Yeah, so I don't have to like ask you to do a local recording and then send it to me, and then I got to patch it in.
Okay.
So it's really, really nice.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right. So, for this video, it's mainly just catching up in the last year because a lot of things have happened. So I guess let's start where we left off. I believe the last video left off with KJ taking the record back at it was like a 1:09:41.
Let me take a look at the leaderboards, confirm that, because I'm pretty sure that's his most recent PB. Yep. That was a year ago.
That was over a year ago.
1:09:41.
That was, do I have the date? It was in August. But anyways. So that's where we left off. So since then, can you maybe tell me some of the things that have happened? Because we got a couple new faces and a couple new people have got a lot of PBs since. So
yes, let me see here. Show some obsoleted runs just so I can take a quick look at some runs.
Take a little refresher.
Yeah. All right, let's see what route I used in this particular run. Okay. Okay, I think this particular run ended up getting world record. It was the 1:09:10 without loads that I had. I'm thinking it looks like that's the first run I have on here with.
You have a 1:09:35 that you took the record back with.
Okay.
But then you do have the
Okay, and it was the run after that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, so that 1:09:10 is the first time you beat Edom. Well, I guess sorry, the first time, but it's whenever you took the record back from Edom. And you said that's the first time you used Aeon's route?
Let's see here.
I haven't watched every run, so I can't confirm nor deny.
Okay, no, it was my 1:09:35.
Is that the first one with Aeons?
Yes, I'm thinking it is because current comparison shows the 1:09:41 of KJ's. I'll just skip to the end really quick. Okay, just entered Dragon Fight, and bam, 1:09:35.
Bam.
Yeah, that's the run where I had like childhood and most of guild muted because hey, copyright claim. Get fucked.
Oh, yeah, I'm annoyed. I don't know if I ever mentioned to you guys, but we got copyright striked because we used the intro song.
Yeah.
For the credits or whatever at the beginning.
Yeah.
They eventually dropped it, I think, because it was only like a minute's worth of a 50-minute long video, and so they ended up dropping it. But
yeah,
definitely out here trying to copyright that, which is like, who's using that music to make money?
Yeah. Okay. I know there was this long period where I was purposefully having my music as low as possible because I play with music because I use it for audio cues, and I want it to be available for people to watch and maybe say, hey, this is what he uses for audio cues. Maybe I could do that as well. And it's avoiding copyright strikes is kind of BS, but whatever.
Oh yeah, it's lame. Super lame.
But yeah, that was the first world record, I believe, with Aeon's route, because I'm pretty sure KJ took that one back with Master Greatsword route that was used before.
I imagine so. So I don't think anyone's using Aeons because I think October was whenever Edom sort of put out the note saying that like, hey, this route is actually faster. I'll have to double check, but I know that
I still wish speedrun.com would actually let us open runs in new tabs. I wish that were possible.
If you go to the statistics and you click on the little bubbles of each one, it should open up in a new tab. So that way,
give that a try.
Yeah, so you don't have to do like a middle mouse click or anything. You just do a regular click, and it'll open up a new tab. So like the 109.35 opens up a new tab.
Okay, let's see. But
it's very handy.
Yeah, my 109.35 without loads was done on December 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a bit of space in there, apparently. All right, let's see here. Fable TLC. Statistics. Good that they actually got that back up and running, too.
I know, just in time. I got really tired of not having that. We'd have to like make our own custom ones, and it got really old. Not custom, like graphs, but we'd have to like keep track of everything. Not fun.
Yeah. 110.05, 109.54, 109.41.
So I guess that kind of brings us to that big point of like the Aeons sort of Aeons route was implemented.
Yep.
Tell me about that.
Where do we begin? Probably with the fact that we discovered on accident, I'm sure you're well aware, of the accidental clip that KJ ended up doing during the Jack of Blades 1 fight. He was forced under the ground. Jack was had disappeared, but Sword of Aeons was just there under the floor. We went into Chocolate Box, I think, and found it was there pretty much the entire time. So that just begun this long trek to actually get under there without sacrificing a run in the process.
Mm-hmm.
There were attempts from basically everybody, but most notably Temasong, who got really close at one point, and then Valiant North finally did it. Don't remember the exact date that he did it, but he did finally do it. And that was a pretty understandably monumental day.
Mm-hmm.
We also found Bowerstone North early with the trash jump that same day.
Same day? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. Then, see, as far as routing goes, I think we just kind of partially adopted what we were doing for Anniversary as far as experience goes.
Mm-hmm. Because
this was before we knew about extended menu manipulation, where we just get everything that we need, like, right at the beginning of the run. We only knew about just forcing one extra experience purchase than would normally be allowed. It's kind of like a hotshot glitch, but it was very I have a word for it.
It's in there somewhere.
I have a word for it. I guess the way I'll put it is that it was just simply in its infancy.
Yeah, just more basic. not advanced.
It hadn't had enough attention, and it hadn't been gone through enough testing at the time. So we were just rolling with basically this old Anniversary experience route, and it's kind of pretty much stayed that way for a good chunk of time. I'm not sure if we knew about the save and load thing. I think KJ actually did that in his run. Not too sure.
Well, I guess one of the things I think is interesting is that you guys knew about the Sword of Aeons, like the trick, right? a while back, but no one really used it. I think Big Law was the first person to actually.
Yeah, he was.
It, right?
He's basically the hipster Aeon's route runner. If you want to look at it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, speedrun.com, please. Could you load sometime today? How much pressure are you under now?
Dude, the site is under a lot of stress. What did it say? Oops, site is under a lot of pressure or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's taking a hot minute now to load KJ's run. I'm pretty sure he did do the hero save and load warp glitch that we do in childhood for any percent. What that does, it freezes the time of day, but it also like disables. Yeah, because of that, it disables the passage of time. So
yeah, just watch him do it. He does the save and load.
Yeah. So that keeps the day on day one. So all the traders will have day one stocks, which is usually the most of and the allotment of will potions that they have. So like normally when we get to the arena before, or when we got to the arena before, the trader would only have, I believe, 30 will potions, but now I think he has 40.
Okay. A significant boost.
Yeah. And then the guild is another decent example, because I think with day 2, the trader would have 47, but with day 1, I think he has 61.
What was it? You said, what was the first number?
47, I think.
47 to 61?
Yeah.
It's also a big jump. That's almost 50% increase.
Yeah, so we were, the only downside to the glitch is that if you the downside to the glitch is that if you I'm sorry, I'm just gotta think before I say this here. The downside to the glitch is that you are stuck on the first quest for the entire run. So the game is perpetually in a quest state, meaning that you only have hero saving. And as you know, probably, hero saving just saves your character's statistics and items and such. It doesn't actually save any of your story progress. And the autosaves that happen just happen for show. They don't actually do anything for you except for the Bargate Prison one. So if you have anything happen to the game during a run while this glitch is in effect, you're pretty much screwed. It's run over.
Gotcha.
But understandably, if you're going for a world record anyway, you know.
Yeah. At a certain point, that it stops kind of being an issue, and it's just kind of part of life.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, but more on Aeons. One of the things that really helped to make it faster was actually using... There was a lot of time saved in Arena because we had the blade traps.
Right.
We would actually use the blade traps in tandem with Berserk's like stacking damage boost to just shred through a bunch of enemies really quickly.
Mm-hmm. But you used to do that with the whatever greatsword.
Yeah, and we just kind of brought that over with Aeons as well. But that was also before Hotshot glitch happened.
Yeah.
And we had access to Inflame 4. That was the biggest boon right there.
So tell me more about Hotshot glitch and sort of how it worked its way into the run.
I think I remember Adam messaging me at one point that he said Hotshot may have found menu manipulation for TLC.
Oh boy.
And I was like, okay. All right, I'm listening. And then when I first saw it, I was like, what? What is this? And then, like, as I went to try it out and do it, I was like, oh, okay. And so the things that we get with Hotshot Glitch are one level of Assassin Rush either in the beginning now, or I think Raheem might be working on a Rush 3 strategy where he does it after Orchard Farm.
Yeah, I've heard about this as well.
But it's used for an extra level of Assassin Rush either way. It's used to get Inflame 4 for the arena, and it's also used to get Berserk 4 after the arena, which completely bypasses the whole alignment requirement that we used to have.
Right.
And that also makes things actually easier. I know in Raheem's current world record, he uses entirely the Sword of Aeons. Or he doesn't even bother stopping in Bowerstone North to get potions or Solace, and he doesn't stop in Hook Coast to get potions either. So he's basically cut out, let's see, there's, I think, 18 will potions or so in Bowerstone North, and I want to say 45 potions in Hook Coast.
God, that's so many. But then again, I mean, if you don't need them, you don't need them. But I wonder how many he has left at the end of the game.
I can say it's not that many. I know that much because I know I did a run myself a while back and I skipped both of those. It wasn't a PB or anything because A, it was in English, B, Litchfield is the thing, and C, Necropolis is also a thing. I think I got the literal worst RNG in Necropolis actually, yeah. Yeah, I had like 6 potions after that.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of room for error.
Yeah. Pretty tight, but it was an experience. But yeah, he's cut a lot of potions out of his own runs. I am still quite a Solus fanboy myself, and there's been a little bit of debate about it. It's a question of how much time does getting Solus versus not getting it save, because the damage is noticeable in some fights, especially when you get to the Lost Chapters content. You can one-shot the summoners with Solus, but you have to hit them like an extra 2 or 3 times with Aeons. And hope that they don't start up their ball lightning, which makes them impervious to physical damage.
Yeah.
The Ice Troll takes a few extra hits. Aforementioned summoners.
How about the Jack fight at the very end?
It's like a couple of seconds slower with Aeons. And then the only way you'd be able to, quote, one cycle, end quote, Nostro is if you were to actually hit an undead with one of your swings that was already going after Nostro. Because in order to damage him, you need to kill one of his undead minions, so he's actually vulnerable.
Yeah, I think I remember in Raheem's run that he did that, and he was like, "Oh, I got Cannibal Cycle! Oh,
nice!"
And I had to look at it.
Yeah.
A second. Sorry about that.
All good.
What was I gonna go with? My mom showed up with my niece was on the face cam. What do you call it? FaceTime. There we go.
Okay.
Anyways, lost my train of thought. We were talking about Nostro Cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, how much time does it lose to go for Solace? Because you have to do a buy sell to get that, right? Or do you already have enough money?
Depends on how you go about it. It's like, because you can do like a couple of extra buy sells in Oakvale. That's actually something that was cut back a lot with Aeons, actually, because normally you would have had to have done 110,000, give or take, to get both Master Greatsword and Master Longbow in the guild.
Mm-hmm.
But now we only grab like 46k.
Because you just need the Master Greatbow or
Longbow.
Master Longbow, yeah.
Yeah. And then we just roll with Aeons for the rest of it until we make the decision, for whatever route you decide to use. But yeah, you could do like a couple of extra buy sells in Oakvale to avoid having to do anything like that in Bowerstone North. But if you do it in Bowerstone North, you have to do a buy sell of diamonds. And then you should have enough to get your will potions and solace.
Right.
And that's menu dependent. So I think the least amount of time I think I've lost in comparison to Raheem at that point is like 8 or 10 seconds.
It's not so bad, but there is the other buy sell from earlier, so it's like,
yeah. And then you have to figure out you're going to have to eventually switch to Solace at some point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go with Solace at all. So you have to figure out when you want to equip it and how much time does Solace actually save in comparison to Aeons. And I think the reason why it's just the reason it's kind of debated is because of the fact that it's not very clear cut, because with Fable and how RNG heavy it is, it's kind of hard to get constants with testing. Like summoners, for example, you can't control their AI all the time. Sometimes they'll actually be looking directly at you and immediately start charging their ball lightning and leaving you, well, guess I can't do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get a quick death animation and then that'll throw the whole cycle out of whack. And sometimes it won't. There's just way too many variables. But I've actually just started to think, okay, full Aeons route is probably the way to go. Because, looking at the time difference between myself and Raheem kind of speaks volumes.
Yeah, no, it's
like a whole 2-minute difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think
Cannibal does full Aeons too. So that's another thing.
And even still, he's a full minute behind. So
yeah, Raheem's a mad lad.
He is. He is a mad lad. So speaking of which, we have Raheem and Cannibal. Both of those names were like not near the top at the end of the last video, right? First of all, Raheem
they were just up and
running.
Coming. They were just up and coming at the time.
Yeah, like I'm gonna sort by date here, and I think the video came out at the end of August 2018, sorry. August 30th. Cannibal was 6th place with a 119. He was a full 10 minutes behind world record. And yeah, Raheem's not even on the list here. So it's crazy that in the last year, the first and second place runners currently were nowhere near the top. So what was it like watching Cannibal? Because the people come and go. Like, I've done runs of Fable before, and I don't think you expected me to get world record anytime soon. What was it like sort of seeing Cannibal just kind of shoot up the ranks?
Let's see. What about was that run of his? That was on literally August 30th. Okay. I honestly don't remember. There's that's a bit of a blur.
Foggy. Okay.
Bit of a blur. It's kind of the way I just am.
It's all good, man. It happens.
MS is a bitch.
Oh yeah.
MS is a bitch. But yeah. No, it's kind of a blur. I can't say I remember too much.
Could you say the same thing about Raheem? Sorry, I keep going back and forth, but he's like, "Oh, it's okay, just pick whatever you want." I'm like, at some point, I gotta get it right, but I do keep flip flopping.
I think I've just called him Raheem from the beginning, ever since he's come into my chat and whatever.
Yeah, I just never heard it pronounced, so in my head I just said Rehim, and it's like I just actually heard his name for the first time. I'm like, oh yeah, I should probably call you by the name that you go by.
Yeah. Which one actually is it? I feel bad.
No, he has told me it's Raheem.
Okay.
But he has said like whatever you want to, however you want to say it, it's fine. So
yeah, his username would have you would suggest that it's Rehim.
Yeah, because he has 2 E's on the other one.
Yeah, Rehim. Ha.
Haha. But so he showed up as well, and I think he showed up in March, I believe. Yeah,
I remember he was in. I think he was at obviously this was before he started running and climbing the boards as he did. Mm-hmm. He was a viewer, I think, much like Bigelow was a viewer in KJ's, but Raheem see, now I'm doing it. Raheem Raheem was in both Adam's channel and my channel, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's told me that he was a long-time watcher. But yeah, he shot up, I think at the start of April. He had a 112.03, which is pretty impressive by itself because he started in March. But then by the end of April, he has a 108.33. He's in second place. And yeah, you said earlier he's a mad lad, and I can attest to
my
that.
First sub 109 run. I'm gonna skip Solus now. I like keeping Aeons, even though buying Solus does not really seem insanely slower. It feels much better to have Aeons equipped.
There you go.
I've started to feel that, and I feel like I'm betraying myself, but oh well. Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast, man. Okay. So I guess we could kind of move on to like the future. So one of the things we haven't talked about yet is Edom mode, and how that might potentially lead to more or less something like a prison skip of some kind. Right. I keep hearing both sides of the coin. Like Edom himself has said that he's not really hopeful that a particular prison skip will be found, just because of the way that the game works. That he just doesn't think it's going to happen. He has a couple other ideas, but it's mainly prison, not going to happen. Whereas I think Hotshotwire, who is the glitch hunter, current glitch hunter, he's kind of like the new Valiant North.
Yep.
He's holding on to hope. He is like, oh, I got to test some things out. I think I got an idea. So, where do you fall on that?
Prison skip. I'd love to see it. I don't quite think it's possible, but I'm still not fully outright dismissing anything, unless it's something that's already been tried and failed. I'm sure there's something that we're not seeing. And as far as Edom mode goes, currently, unless something like really substantial could happen with it, it's probably not going to see a single day in any %.
That's the thing that sucks, is that I really want to talk about it in this video, but at the same time, it's like there's all these cool things we can do that aren't useful for any %.
Yeah. See, here's the interesting thing though. Edom mode is actually used in Hundo, because that allows us to actually it's used in. I think it's used in basically every like non-marriage, non-any % Fable TLC category, because it's used in both Hundo and all Silver Quests.
Yeah,
and it's used in Silver Quest because it lets us do basically a load warp.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah, basically the premise of it is there's various different ways that you can get Edom mode. What Edom mode is, it's basically a glitch that disables like world and map scripts. So stuff like cutscene triggers, triggered dialogue boxes from specific objects, talking to people, like stuff that would normally run a script. Those are just disabled. The way Adam found it was he was mashing interact with a door, and at first he'd say no just to get the game to fade in and back out, but as the game was fading back in, he would interact with it again and actually click leave to go to actually leave the quest area, because he did it during a quest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got it. Sorry. The another way that Hotshot found was to fail a quest while leaving a quest area. And then later on he found, I'm pretty sure it was Hotshot that found it. It was activating a trophy. So do the trophy minigame. But leave the area, but at the same time as you're trying to leave the area, open a menu. So you basically put the loading zone, you essentially buffer a load is what it is. And then that will last for the duration of the trophy minigame. So the way that we use that in 100% is we do it as soon as we get to, I do it anyway, as soon as I get to Bowerstone South, I activate the trophy, enter a menu as soon as I cross over the loading zone to lookout point threshold.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use that to push the Bowerstone North guard that blocks your way into Bowerstone North out of the way. I cancel the trophy minigame, and then I just waltz my way into Bowerstone North.
There you go.
And then that state can actually be edit mode. The state itself can carry over between save loads. So what's done in all silver quests is as soon as we finish Orchard Farm, we make a save in Greatwood Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Just as soon as we get out there. Go ahead. Make a save in Greatwood Lake. Do the rest of the run as normal up until we get to the point where we do Hob Killing Contest.
Mm-hmm.
We load the save that we made. We make another save before we do that. We load the save that we did in Greatwood Lake, activate the edit mode glitch with the trophy, and load the save from where we were later in the run. And then we start the trophy minigame again. And then we cancel it, and then suddenly we are in Orchard Farm.
Yeah,
it sounds pretty confusing. I know. It took me forever to actually wrap my head around it.
Yeah, but the idea is you would start edit mode somewhere on a save file, and you can load another save. You can load another file, do edit mode, and then once it's over, it teleports you to where you were last time with the last.
Yeah, I've come to refer to it as a loading zone buffer. So, or just a loading zone storage, whatever. It's something like that. You're storing a load buff. You're storing a load transition, whatever. And that's basically what we do now for Anniversary Any %. And that's its own can of worms, because that allows us to skip basically everything post getting our mother to follow us out of Bargate Prison.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically a crack and skip.
Yeah. So does that work with doing the save and load at the beginning? Because that means you can't do hero save or world saves, right? You can only do hero saves. So does that mean that doesn't work?
Right. No, it wouldn't provide any benefit like that. We would, if we could do something with, excuse me, if we could do something with Atom mode in that fashion, like pertaining to a load warp or whatever, we would probably have to weigh whether or not the John Fable glitch, as we call it, or Atom mode would be more worth it.
John Fable.
Yeah, because I think it was Adam who coined it as such, because we just couldn't. We needed something a little bit more, I guess, named than just hero save and load. So we just refer to it as John Fable. It's basically the game is stuck in a quest state. That's what we mean by that.
Gotcha.
And there are different ways to actually activate what we refer to as John Fable, because it's I know also Request does it, because because of the way we do Bandit Cirrus, we do summon clipping our way into that. We don't properly start the quest. We actually end up starting the quest because we have to go back to Abandoned Road later on in all silver quests for Lost Trader. So we're permanently stuck on a quest as a result, a quest that can never be finished because we already finished it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that we end up John Fabling in all silver quests, but it doesn't actually. It's in the middle of the run, and we do it because we can actually do all the quests anyway. We get credit for Bandit Cirrus, and the quest that does start is empty. There's nothing there. You're just on a quest, unnamed quest.
Unnamed quest, dude. Story of my life.
Literally life.
You start life. There you go. That's how it works. Okay. I don't think I'm going to call it John Fable. I might use a voice clip of you calling it John Fable.
Okay.
But I don't think
whatever you need.
I usually just refer to it as the childhood save and load.
That's fair.
But
that's fair. But yeah, we just kind of know it as John Fable in the community.
Well, there you go.
Because it's basically signifying the game is thinking it's permanently on a quest.
Okay. So do you see anything else happening in the future? Like obviously things are going to keep happening. People are going to keep running. People are going to get PBs here and there. I'm sure. I think Raheem can get. I think his Sum of Best says he can get a 104. He has a 105.30 or something like that right now.
He has a 105.29. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see a 104X at some point, but anything in particular that you foresee happening, or?
I can't say I see anything in particular happening. Mostly because I think I've seen everything with this game, but I also have been proven wrong too many times.
Yeah.
Just when you think you've seen it all, this happens and blows your mind.
Yeah, I mean, who saw Hotshot glitch coming? I don't think anybody.
I definitely did not see that coming. So, I was like, dude, if only we could menu manipulate in TLC. Oh, wait a minute, we kind of can now.
We kind of can.
It's not as efficient, but hey, it's good when we can use it.
That's right. Okay. I think that's all I have for you. Is there anything that you want to mention or bring up that we haven't talked about yet?
Unless my mind is failing me, I don't think I have anything to bring up.
Okay. Well, guess we'll wrap it up there.
Okay, then.